GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Newly launched Vivo V40 series, available now with exclusive offers at Puvika.
Sheen Lac Speciality Coatings, always shining. Sheen Lac.
Hello, Krithi Shetty. Welcome to Galatta Plus.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so before we begin asking questions, what are the questions you don't want to be asked? What are the questions you're like, I'm so sick of answering these questions?
I'm actually, like I said, I'm very, very excited. So I love talking about my experience and sharing what I've been through. And there's so much positivity that I have inside me because it's been such a lovely experience that I just want to put it all out there.
Right, right. Now, I'm just going to begin with, you're 20.
Yeah.
September you turn 21. Advance birthday wishes.
Thank you very much.
But, you know, getting to be where you are at this age, it doesn't happen to everybody, right? It's like a...
For sure.
So what do you attribute it to? How do you say it? Is there something you consciously work towards? Do you believe in a divine plan? Was it destiny, luck? How do you attribute it?
Absolutely, I think I have to give it to destiny to get me here because how I ended up doing my first film, how I landed there.
When you say first film, you mean Upena or Super 30?
Upena, for sure. So Upena, it was absolutely a play of destiny, and I think it couldn't have possibly been anything else. If you want, in short, I'll tell you a little bit. So, how I got casted, I think I've spoken about it before, but I was in an ad which was happening in Hyderabad, where someone saw me and recommended me to a casting agent. But how I got that ad is I was somewhere and I really wanted to pee and I wanted to use the washroom. So I had to go, and where I was going, someone saw me there and she was like, "Do you do ads? Like, can you do this ad? Would you like to?"
In the washroom?
As I was going to the washroom.
Okay.
And then I was like, "Yes, I do ads." And then when I came back, she was like, "Oh, I have this ad and I think you're perfect for it. Would you like to do it?" And at that point, I used to do ads. I was in like, ads were like a one-day thing, right? So I was studying, but I was still doing few ads here and there. So she was like, "You're perfect, and are you free on this date?" I was like, "Yeah." And then she said, "You'd have to go to Hyderabad." And can you imagine, like, if I just if I didn't use the washroom there, I would not have been in this film. And that made me go to Hyderabad, where someone saw me and someone recommended me, and everything that followed after was just like a dream. Like, so that made me believe in destiny.
So before that, you weren't much of a believer in...
I mean, before that, I did believe that, I obviously believe there's a higher power and all those things, but then destiny, what are the odds like of all these things happening? And this really made me...
This is going to make a lot of people go to the washroom.
Yeah, I really hope they do.
But still, you know, the industry is it comes with a lot of power, fame,
sure.
money, all these things, right? When you were doing ads, was that just like chalo, let's just make some quick bucks? Or was it also very I'm really interested in being in front of the camera?
No, absolutely not. To be very honest, I didn't want to ask my parents for money when I wanted to go to college. So I was consciously saving up all that money to go to college because I didn't want to ask my parents. And but apart from that, I really enjoyed acting, but I never saw it as a career. Like, I thought, कि ठीक है, एक दिन मैं, after all this, I'm still going to go back and do whatever I intended to, like, and study. So I never thought I would become an actor. And even though I really enjoyed acting, I really enjoyed doing ads, I really enjoyed the set and everything, but somehow it never clicked to me that अच्छा मैं actor भी बन सकती हूँ. It never came up on my mind. But what's very surprising is that my whole family, when I told them I was doing a film, that I'm going to become an actor and all these things, nobody was surprised.
They all said, "Oh, we thought you'd do this."
Yeah, they were like, and it's not even like they thought I would do this after I became, after I started acting in ads also. They said that ever since you were a kid, it feels like you were born for this because of the way I was. And so that was surprising for me because even I didn't think of it like that. So
But
I
that
really-
can be surprising because sometimes the way we see ourselves is very different from the way
from the way
others
others
see us.
for
So
sure.
that's yeah.
But I think what really made me stay in the industry is because even after I did my first film, the experience was very, very difficult. And I mean, from an outsider's point of view, I expected it to be very glamorous, very luxurious, and all these things. But then after my first film, I only then I realized कि oh इतना काम है, like there's so much of work that goes on behind the scenes, like it's not easy at all. And it was a very challenging film. I mean, so
Upena you're talking about. Okay.
Upena. So after that I was like ठीक है, I mean, it's not like I want to be an actor, so it's fine, I can still go back home after this and continue what I wanted to. And that was my plan. Like after I finished the film, that is what I thought I would do. And then the songs released, and then the audience, the kind of love, acceptance, the warmth that they welcomed me with is what made me want to act. I was like, wait, this love I want to give back in some way. Like I felt so grateful, and I felt like I to be worthy of this love, I have to do something to give it back. So that day I decided that no matter what, I will try my best every day to be worthy of the kind of love the audience has given me, and which is what makes me constantly work hard. And
Right.
yeah.
Now, when you were doing ads, did you also pick up some acting?
For sure.
Because you're not a trained actor, that's why
Yes.
I'm asking. So, or were you always, like, were you in school plays and things like that?
I've always been into dancing, and I've always really enjoyed dancing. I haven't learnt a lot very professionally, but I've always enjoyed that. So
liked
I
it, yeah.
think my expressive side comes from the dance. And then after I became an actor, I became very obsessed with it. And I'm a I'm a director's baby. Like I try to mold myself in any way that the director wants, which I think happened only because I was not a trained actor. So um, if I already had a method, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I've learned everything from the ads that I've done, from the directors that I've worked with, in those ads, in the films that I've done, and every day from my co-actors, from my directors, I learned so much from my cinematographers. And after that, I went to workshops also after I became an actor. And even when I was doing ads, I've been to theater workshops. So
Right. No, I rarely meet people who've done ads, so forgive me for
No
talking
problem.
about that a bit. What was, I always ask people, like about the tough scenes that they did or whatever it is, but in ads, let's say it's a day shoot, right?
Yeah.
Can you name an ad, even if you don't want to name the product, an ad that was particularly tough to do and why? Like,
I
because,
think my first ad was the toughest because first of all it was a new experience. And I had to do there was this setup, like these this climbing kind of a setup, and then I just have to turn back and smile, and that smile is supposed to be the end of the ad. Like
you didn't have any lines.
I really don't
Okay.
remember. But I remember I had to turn back and smile. And just that smile, I did so many of them because they wanted that perfect shot, like a very even smile, very pleasant to end the ad. So that one shot, it took so long. And I was very, very young, like I think around 10 or 11, I think. So that I think was very challenging. But then after the shot, the director told me that it was so difficult because it was very hard for me to judge, and that he said that I have a very contagious smile. So every time I was smiling, he was smiling, and I think that's one of the best compliments that I've ever received.
Yeah.
Because if you can effortlessly bring a smile on other people's faces, what more do you need?
Right.
Yeah.
So would you say that, how would you describe the journey after Upena?
I would say it was a difficult journey because I think the expectations that people had um, were much higher, and what I chose after was necessarily not okay. I did Upena, so I have to do like similar roles or like
Like a
roles.
slightly darkish romance, you don't, yeah.
Yeah, or I think that story had a lot of scope for the girl. So people really expected me to pick similar stories again, which have a lot of scope for the girl, which have like some weightage to the role, which I mean, I would love to, but when it's not every day that such roles are written. So only when I receive those roles would I be able to play them. And personally, I just wanted to do something different. Like after Upina, I did get a chance again in scripts wise to play like a village belle again. But then I picked Sham Singh Roy definitely only because I wanted to show that I mean, when I can do this, I can do this also. I can be this. And then it would be a new experience. It would be a more challenging experience from what I've already done to do something new. A girl who's like riding a bike, she's bold and like. And then Bangaraju was what followed, which had a little bit of comedy, so I could explore that. My Gurinchi Make Chepali, like a twin role with Mohan sir. I I just wanted I was picking experiences which would make me a stronger performer and be able to also give people something new to watch and to be able to show that I have and can be versatile.
Does this ever play in your mind that if I keep saying no to roles, then maybe people won't come? Is there that insecurity sometimes?
I
Because you're
have
saying you pick, right? So that means you're also saying no to certain things. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been very that way I've been pretty conscious in what I've selected because but I feel like I've been noticing or looking at my role too much and obsessing over that aspect much more, which I now am a little more conscious about. But yes, I mean, with with the intention of not doing what I've already done before, I made those choices
Right.
because of that. Not necessarily because this isn't good enough, this is not fine for me, and all these things. I don't like to judge it that way, but just things that I haven't done before, I was looking for something new to play or perform.
You know, Shyam Singh Roy had like Nani, right? He was your
Yes.
first big co-star, like as in a person who'd already become a star kind of a thing. Was there any kind of, I don't want to use the word intimidation, but maybe like was there a certain kind of consciousness? Because in Upena it was a relatively new,
New.
everyone was in it together. You know, there's a certain, it's like a bunch of college people hanging out kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Whereas here you're suddenly faced with
I mean, even Upena had Vijay Sethupathi.
yeah,
So
Vijay Sethupathi.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, personally, I haven't ever been very intimidated by anybody because of them, because of how nice they are. I never felt that. Even Nani Garu, like, he's just, everybody touchwood that I've worked with has been so humble that they never really make you feel like they are a star. They've always presented themselves so humbly that you forget that they are
Right.
actually stars, which I think really helped me because I have really no experience with actors or stars. So getting starstruck would be very normal for me. But because of how humble they've and grounded they've been, I never really felt that weight.
Right. So
Yeah.
where I was going was because they come with a certain amount of experience
For sure.
and no, I'm not the star part is separate, but
Yeah.
they're also actors, right? They've
Yeah.
established their acting credentials or whatever it is. And that aspect is what, because now you're competing against you, like the bar is raised. So
Yeah.
you kind of that.
Definitely, I think I was looking forward to learning a lot from him because Nani Garu is someone I really, really respect as an actor, and even the experience, I got to learn so much from him, and he has such a great judgment of how a scene is going to come out and turn out, and how performances can be enhanced, and he puts it in such a nice way where you get to learn so much from him. He is very um, he gives you the space and time when you want to improve. If I mean, it's not like I really struggled with anything in Sham Singh Roy, but he gives you that space. It's not like, oh, I'm Nani, or you have a scene with me, so you have to get it in one take,
No, no, yeah.
or
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So then you immediately feel comfortable, and then sometimes he will suggest also, which is very, very helpful. And then his whole process is like very amazing to watch
What is
and
that
learn
process?
from. I
Actually,
mean,
forget that. What is your process?
so like I said, I think especially if I was just thinking about ARM because it's been a year and a half, or I think a little more than that, since we've shot it. And the other films that I've done, I was just taking a step back and looking at it from a different perspective, and how my process has changed like 3-4 times after ARM. Because now that I look back and think about it, the kind of performance which, because I actually Jitin Lal sir, the director, he showed me a scene, and then I was like, wait, I look completely different. My performance style is completely different, and then I tried to remember why. So basically, I just try to mold myself in a way that would be best for the character to the according to the psychology that I understand about the character. Which is basically, I mean, while narrating, there are few things that the directors mention, be it within the scenes, be it about the character, which I take and I build on. So, and then that becomes my expression. Like, I think every character or every person, they have certain things that they are and certain things that they do. So, that I try to figure out and then play on that.
That's really interesting. So can you, without spoiling too much about ARM, can you give me one thing that you picked up from the narration and said, I think my character should do this?
I think my character is very curious in the film, and she has certain fantasies, certain things she fantasizes about, she loves, she adores, which came out while narrating. Like in a few scenes, I saw a pattern and then I tried to build on that. And I remember it because in one scene I had this dialogue which while speaking about one of these things, automatically a certain expression came, which happened to be in the scene that I watched that day. And the whole scene is about something else. Like it's a very romantic scene. I mean, like a little bit of a cute love scene between the two characters of them having a conversation. But just that part is her talking about something she really admires. So just in that, the expression suddenly changes, and you can really see that there's something beyond, like there is something greater in her mind. So, which I mean, like is an example like which came out from what Jitin sir wanted and what he narrated.
Right.
And similarly, I think my acting style also keeps changing from what the based on what the directors expect from me. Like some people, they really like intense performances, while some people and intense, and like some people really like performances which are a little more which are very very expressive. Like everything has to be very expressive,
Right.
has
Like
to
for
come
instance,
out.
the Bangaraju performance was
Yes,
a little loud.
loud,
Yeah.
it is.
And that's the nature of the film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then I mean, as an actor, I should even, I can't say that's not exactly my style and I can't do that. I have to be able to cater to that. I have to figure it out in such a way which works for me. It's like, it's, the conviction has to work for me to be able to portray it. So I just try to find a way where I have most conviction, and then everything else follows naturally.
Right. So this is a cliche question, but I have to ask it. But what was the vibe like with Tovino on the set? As in, you have just explained your style of acting. What did you encounter when you were clashing with him on the set? Not clashing as in interacting. Yeah.
Personally, I think Tovino is one of the most hardworking and one of the best actors of our generation. And I have so much respect for him in terms of everything. Like, I've seen him work so hard, and I just want to share that Malayalam timings are very different from what the timings that I was used to. Like they go on for a longer period of time. And I remember
You mean per day?
per day,
Okay.
every day. And I remember on my fourth or fifth day, there was this scene where the director wanted me to use my eyebrows a lot. And he was like, just, I know you do this thing, so I really want you to do it in some way. And then I remember that day, I came and everybody was asking me because till then everybody called me Sunshine Girl. So they were very used to me being very bubbly. And that day I was a bit tired, I think. So I came and my eyebrows were like this, and everybody was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine," and I wasn't realizing it because um, I was enjoying the set so much that I didn't realize how tired I was because of the lack of sleep. So I ended up there and I was like, oh my god, like, what do I do? I was absolutely not able to move my eyebrows. So I told Jitin sir and Sujatan, the writer, that maybe this is why. So, like a small kid, they gave me like 2 hours of nap time to go and take a small nap, and then we finished the scene. But then I saw Tovino, like, he had been working for, I think, 40, 50 days already by then. And I did some 22 to 24 days in this film, and he has more than 100 days. I cannot imagine working for 100 days and still being so calm, patient, and I mean, he was never irritated. I never saw him angry, agitated, be it the director or the cinematographer. Nobody. And but as an actor, you have to be able to express. You have to be able to, be present, be in the moment. And I really don't know how I did it, how he did it. Like, how can, with that amount of sleep, how can you do all that and then still look good enough to, in front of the camera, and then still be so humble. And then he would share about, he had met an acting coach, an acting trainer for this film, because he had 3 characters, and then he was sharing all that with me while when we were shooting. And I'm very, very grateful for all those tips. I think it made so much sense. And I got to learn so much from him every single day. I think I was just reciprocating the kind of performance that he was giving.
And you become a better actor.
Absolutely.
Right.
It really enhanced me, which I'm so grateful for, because I mean, it's it really he really didn't have to do that. He didn't have to share what he learned
Right.
with me, but he did, and it helped me.
Right.
So
And now you're on a hot streak in the Tamil cinema industry. You have Vava Dere with Nalan Kumarasamy and
yes.
Karthi. Then you have Genie. And then you have LIC or whatever it is called now.
LIK.
LIK now. Yeah,
Yes.
I know it's kind of a thing. So, uh, was that again something destiny got you, or was it like you just said, okay, I've conquered all these, done a bit of conquering in all these industries, now I have to move to Tamil?
Feels like it. I think it was the right time for me also. I had done a set of Telugu films already, and I was in the right space to explore a new language and be able to give enough space. And then everything, I think, happened organically. I really loved hearing these scripts and all these characters. I think they are very different from each other. And I felt really good about it, which is why I went ahead with it. I don't think I really planned much, and it just happened. Like,
When you say I heard these scripts, when people narrate to you, do they narrate the entire script to you, or do they give an outline of the script and then say your role is like this?
they do narrate the entire
Whole
script.
thing.
Yes, they
Okay.
do.
Okay. So you ask for that because I do know people that don't do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is also that culture, but I think these days they do that. Plus, I like to have the script also so that I can work on my character, just only because of that, because I like to make notes and then um, like a little bit of
Give me a note that you made for Upena. What did you make?
I think then my process was also very
Different.
different. But then I used to make notes mainly for the language
Ha.
and for being able to modulate it. And then uh, there was this assistant director Vivek. He used to help me with my lines, and he had such a very, very cute way of breaking the words. So he would, if it was Anipinchat Ledu, he would Anipin chat Ledu. So he would be like chat, like chart, like chat, like that. Like, so then I used to make more of those language notes. And then for certain scenes, if the director, sometimes it was a very heavy scene, he would tell us in prior. So then I would remember what exactly I grasped from what he wanted and write that down.
Nice. So you good with languages?
Till I worked in Malayalam, I thought I was good with languages, but after Malayalam, I have my doubts. I think I was being a little overconfident And then God was like, okay, here, take Malayalam now. Because
what is it about the language? Was it the
I think Tamil and Telugu, even though I did not know them before I worked in Tamil and Telugu, I was able to learn, and Tamil I'm still learning, but I can speak now. But Malayalam, even after the film, I tried so hard. Even before the film, actually, I watched so many Malayalam films, but in every film, I felt like the dialect and the slang was so different that I couldn't grasp it as a language. And then I was so worried and nervous that, okay, I mean, what if on set they don't like it? They think my accent is not working. If it's funny, will they laugh at me? And all those things I was so worried about. And then I worked super, super hard on my lines. Like every day I would sit and like.
Did you have an AD here as well?
I did.
Would they split up the lines, the words as well?
No, that I did on my own for this one. But there was an AD, Srijit. He helped me so much. He provided voice notes as well. And then I would sit and listen to it. But still, when he would come and rehearse my lines with me, he would sound very, very different from what I did. And then to get that, I would spend like the next day's dialogue, I would do it today and then like a day prior, so that the next day I have absolutely no problem and I can just focus on getting the performance right. And since day one, the team was, they never made me conscious. In fact, I was worrying too much, I feel. They were so supportive and they never even spoke about my dialect or like, or if I'm sounding right, if I'm saying something wrong. And they never made me conscious of that. So I could perform so freely without being conscious of, oh, am I saying my line right? Is it sounding different, weird?
Right.
And all these things, which helped me so much.
Right. How do you handle it when films do not do well? Because you had a stretch of successes and then a stretch of films that did not do well. And it was almost like people were waiting to pounce on you.
Absolutely. I feel like since my first film was so well received, there was a set of people who were waiting for something to go wrong to be able to point it out. But at the same time, I never took responsibility or I never took credit for my success. So at the same time, I can't take credit for, like, complete credit for my failures also. But at the same time, I can see where it went wrong, and I feel like more than a successful film, you learn much more from a film that did not work, to understand why and all these things. That made me a stronger technician, to be able to figure out why, to know why, to hear from people what did not work. And at the same time, I think from a personal experience, I learned so much about people and the industry, which, I mean, then it was very, very hard hitting, because it's almost like getting slapped. Like your instant reaction is, you don't expect it. You, even if you did expect it, it still hurts. But at the same time, after you come out stronger, learning all that at such so early on in my life, I feel like is still a blessing.
It is. I mean, like you should be in college right now. You know, and I'm speaking to you like a veteran actor. That's amazing. It's
Yeah.
what you've done about 12 films so far?
Yes.
12, right?
Yeah.
Like,
This is my 9th release, but I've done 12
Yeah,
films.
yeah. Finally, if you were to, you know, apart from going to the washroom, if somebody wanted to become an actor,
Yeah.
what would you say are some of the things that they need to have within themselves? They're not from the industry, they're
Yeah.
from outside like you. What do you think is
I think, even though this might sound cliche, but I think it's patience for sure. I mean, everything will happen the way it's supposed to happen. We only feel like we have control over it, but we actually really don't. And everything is all, I feel like everything is destiny, it's already written. So only when the time is right, certain things will happen. Like I used to sit and think that, oh, why am I not doing this? Like, why is this not happening? And then there came a time where I felt glad that I didn't do all those things. Then that taught me a lot. And then patience, I think, is key for anybody. And at the same time, knowing that it's not easy, because that's something which caught me off guard. I expected it to be, I didn't have an expectation, I didn't chase luxury, but from what I saw outside, from outside, it looked like that. But
You mean very glamorous and all that?
Yeah, it looked very glamorous, like being an actress, and even though I wasn't chasing that, it looked like that. But then that's not what it's like. It is hard work. It is blood, sweat, and tears for sure. And I think for me, it's obsession. I think obsession is my key. Like I'm extremely obsessed with what I do, and that some people love, some people don't. But I can't change that about myself. Ever since I came back and decided to be an actor, you have to be a little obsessed, is what I
I think
feel.
obsession is a good thing.
Yeah,
Because
I think
it's-
it's a good thing. A lot of people don't seem to enjoy.
Okay, being on the other side of it, I think unless you're really passionate and 500% into
Yeah, for
something,
sure.
and I don't think it works otherwise. I think
Yeah.
you're kind of a thing. So all the best.
Thank you very
I
much.
hope your first Malayalam film is a big success. Looking forward to seeing you in Tamil films, and
Thank you.
looking forward to see what you do when you turn. I don't know what age, because it just occurs to me that you should be this, having fun in a classroom and but
I mean-
your whole do you think about that sometimes, like I wish I had a normal life, because of course you're enjoying what you do, I'm not saying that, but but like when you see people your age going to class, going cutting class, going to movies, doing the typical things, like
Absolutely not. I feel like, I'm enjoying what I do so much that a lot of people ask me why I'm never on vacations and why. Actually, there was a point, I think, where I didn't have even one day break for like months, and I was not complaining, and I still wouldn't complain because for me, going to work is going to have fun. Like, it's so much fun for me. It's so satisfying at the end of the day, or at some moment when the director is happy, when someone expresses enjoyment in what you've done. That to me is much bigger than anything that I can achieve, any kind of experience or any kind of memory that I'll make with in a classroom or with my friends, or even though it's a little sad, but
no,
that
everything
is,
has ups and downs.
yeah,
So, yeah.
I really enjoy this a lot, and like I said, I'm very obsessed. So there's nothing that I would rather do.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Newly launched the Vivo V40 series, available now with exclusive offers at Povika.
Sheen Lac Specialty Coatings. Always shining. Sheen Lac.